All right, man. Let's dive in. Let's dive in. All right. When everything is all said and done, at the end of the day, when everything's all said and done, what do you want success to be measured by for you? Like, what is success measured to you at the end of the day?
That's great. Um, Oof, I love these. I was like, I wonder how deep he's gonna go. No, but that's a great first question, man. Well, you've been to my house, dude, and you kind of get the vibe that my wife and I kind of live, right? Like it's very we try to keep it chill, we try to keep it stress free. Obviously, it's very difficult um in such a chaotic city, right? There's so much energy here. And so when you come into my apartment, it's like everything is just a little bit slower. There's peace. I love when you affirm that when you came over.
Yes.
But man, if we can keep that going, and one thing I feel like I've lost a little bit of is how much I'm playing. When I was looking back at videos from 2019, dude, I was always playing. I was juggling, I was doing handstands, I was doing this like dance movement style training. It was very fun, and also it's just a different time in my life. But I feel like, man, I could bring that back. I could continue to have that. And I've always said, like, when I get to 70 years old, I want to be able to still do a handstand. I want to still be able to juggle. I want to be able to do the things that I love doing now. I want to be able to do them forever. So like playing golf, playing sports with my kid, working out with him, learning new skills with him, and hopefully more if more kids come. But
Yes.
so being able to get to 70 or 80 years old, man, and still have that freedom. And it's not just about the physical freedom. Like, yes, absolutely, you need to maintain that. But it's like how to not have to hold space for, man, where am I going to have enough resources to be able to pay for these things that we may have to pay for: rent, groceries, uh, travel. Because at 70 and 80, of course, there should still be travel involved. And so having the financial freedom to live a lifestyle that's just fulfilling, where it's always, you're always expecting of more of life and the world and God to teach you more, because we never stop learning, we never stop growing. So I think that would totally determine my success, if I make it to that age and just have that grit to continue doing that.
I bet. So you touched on some that I was gonna hit on, obviously, which was the peace thing. And can you, if you can tell someone that hasn't been into your home or has seen your marriage, if you can describe what that feels like or what that is when you walk in there, when you experience your marriage, can you describe that? How would you describe it? How do you get there? How do you make it happen? How do you fulfill that?
Okay, I'll describe it like this. Ready? And if you don't feel like that when you get home, bud, we got some stuff to work on. Maybe it's not the home you want to get to. Maybe it's not the relationship you want to get to. Maybe it's not another added stress.
Yes.
And so, yeah, to feel that when you walk into your home, and everyone's home is going to look different, it's going to have different things, but that, you're right, that feeling, it a lot has to be aligned for you to be able to walk in and feel that way. I'm talking about from the moment you wake up and either do your bed or you don't do your bed. That's part of the thing that you are building. These actions that you collect throughout the day that will amount to the result. Make sense? So yeah, I think that's what you're gonna feel if you walk into my place, into our home, my wife and I. Yeah.
Love it. So diving in more, knowing everything that you know now about marriage, family, business, creativity, people, finances, everything that you know now. If you can go back in time 15, 10 years ago and you can give yourself one piece of advice in one sentence, knowing your past self, knowing yourself 10, 15 years ago, you can give yourself one sentence, what would you say to him?
15 years. Hold on. I'm trying to think of where I was 15 years ago. So 25. Okay.
What's you knowing yourself, what would, you know, 15 years ago, what would be one word that you can give yourself that would change the course?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. How about this? Damn, this is gonna come off so corny. Everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, that's corny, dude." Of course, you would say something like that. I would go back and be like, "Hey, dude, marry Nisa." I would say that because at 25, that was not me, dude. I didn't want to get married. I didn't even want to like be with one girl, dude. I think at that point in my relationship with Nisha, we were probably just friends and she was just seeing the descarado que yo soy. You know? And descarado, bro. And so she just knows me, dude. And I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for her.
So do you think if you would have told yourself that and you would have married Nisa sooner, your success would have changed? Or
How about I think maybe not even sooner, but don't miss that opportunity because a lot of things are gonna happen in your life. Nisa's gonna come along. I could have easily said, I'm gonna continue my descarado ways and I'm not gonna marry this girl. Because there was a hard moment when I decided, like, yo, this is the girl. I'm just gonna put everything on pause. And at that moment, dude, my life could have either gone where I am today or a completely different route. Like I can pinpoint that moment. And so in that moment, I would just remind myself, hey, dude, just hit it. Go that way. Go in that direction.
love it. I love it. I love it. So in essence, do you feel what would have changed about you mentally or spiritually if that were to happen at 25? Do you feel like you would have matured?
Dude, I think, you know what? I think I'm just gonna answer it a little, not necessarily to that situation, but I'm gonna answer it as, what if I didn't marry her, right? Like if I hadn't made that decision, and I really made that decision, I'm gonna say maybe it was about 11 or 12 years ago, you know? And I think I would have never met Christ, or maybe down the line, I'm sure he was gonna find a way, but I would say I would have never met Christ, number one. I wouldn't have. The other thing that keeps coming to my head is just I wouldn't have my son, man. Solomon. Solomon wouldn't have happened if all of these decisions that I made prior to getting to the moment when I said Nisa is the one for me, like that, I can go back and make that decision again and again and again. And so, yeah, if I hadn't, wow, I can't imagine. I can't imagine where I would have been back at that age, dude. I was probably doing drugs. I was partying all the time. I was um I was just doing the Miami lifestyle, dude. I was I believe I was a concierge at Mondrian Hotel in South Beach around that time. And I wanted to be the Miami guy. I wanted to live the worldly things. Live nightclub, all the best restaurants, just all access to everything in South Beach. And it was a wild lifestyle, dude. And honestly, around that moment in time, I had a mentor go to me, dude, you either stop or you're going down the wrong path.
Yeah. If you ride like lightning, you'll fall like thunder.
There it is. And so luckily I had people along the way, man, that just stick with you, that help guide you, and you got to keep those people close.
So you did a video, I believe it was yesterday, and I think there was like a social media viral video of a dad talking about working, and I saw your video, and I loved it. What's one piece of advice that you would tell every father in your circle? What's one piece of advice that you would say?
Dude, I would do my best to hang out with other men that um have or carry the characteristics that you want to see in yourself. Like that, that saying that you are what the closest five people around you are. Um, you get to choose those people. And so I really believe that after 35, it's so hard to keep friends, man. Number one, it's hard to make friends, but to keep them is a whole other thing. You know, people live far away from each other. Everyone has their own issues and problems. You can't connect consistently. Oh, this guy doesn't really care. That guy doesn't. He has 2 kids. This guy has a full-time job. And so you start losing friends like that. But if you can connect with other men, and dude, you can find this at a gym, you can find this at a church, you can. I've been reaching out to people on social media, my guy. Hey, what's up? Let's hang out. What do you got going on? I see you doing really big things. Why don't you and I jump on a call, have a conversation? How did this come about? So if you surround yourself with other men, especially of faith, especially who are striving for something greater than where they are today, like, you need to surround yourself with that. These are going to be people that help support you when it gets hard, because as a father, it gets hard. Um, we take on this role of provider most of the time, and it's this like heaviness that comes along with that, when you're going to have to put yourself last, and you're not going to give up, and you got to keep going. Dude, it's Men's Health Month. I just shared a video about how many men are committing suicide. It's loneliness. It's when you're doing it on your own that it feels even heavier. So just surrounding yourself with other men. I'm currently reaching out to a few friends, or we're going to have a weekly call. I was just telling you about that. Would love for you to be there. But if I can have other guys that are going through the same struggle, the same circumstances, that are superseding these obstacles, like, how did you do it? How can you speak life into me? How can I be here to listen when you need a safe space to talk into? Like, I think it's very important. And I'll be honest, dude. I just had this realization not too long ago. I've been Solomon's 17, 18 months. I've been struggling. You keep working through it. You keep working through it. You keep working. Now I'm having conversations. Now it feels good. It's like free therapy, dude. Having friends is free therapy.
You tap into telling someone, a man, that hey, you can be vulnerable, you can let your ego down, and it's okay. How would you word that to somebody?
Yeah, yeah. I think I think that happens at a specific moment in time. I think it's a almost like an aha moment. When you have like some kind of grand revelation where, like, most guys are like, "Oh, I got to work on myself." I can't keep this shell on. I can't keep this mask on. I think either there's a breaking point, or there's a realization moment. And I think a lot of the times it probably comes from being able to take a step back and just looking at a specific situation from the outside in, and saying, how I'm showing up isn't the way. The way that I speak to my wife, the way that I reprimand my children, the way that I'm not present in conversations. When you can take a step back and you see that this is a persona you're being, the how you're showing up in the world, how you're giving to society, your energy, your words, your actions, your demeanor. And so I think when you can step back and realize if that's not the kind of man I want to be, I need to make a change. Okay, let's put down the guard. Let's be a little bit more transparent. Let's have the hard conversations, and slow down. Take a pause, take a breath. Um, Handle situations differently. That comes with learning, you know? I think, and a lot of the times, it's hard, but when you see those around you just get a little softer with you because you're trying, that's gonna happen, and that means things are gonna be moving in the right direction.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Chris. So if everyone in your circle, including family and friends and your children, could remember one thing about the way you lived, what's that thing that you want them to remember about the way you lived?
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, I'm gonna take it back to this guy was having fun. This guy was having fun, dude. This guy loved to learn new things and hang out with people and play with his son. You know, yeah, fun, man, fun. Absolutely. Like, oh, this guy was rich for what? Rich, like what? What? How does that? I don't know. I was having fun along the way. I may be super rich when I die, but I had fun getting there. Or I may be poor, but I'm gonna hopefully not. But I'm gonna have fun.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
What would you tell somebody what would you tell somebody to have that let loose, be fun, what I'm saying, and what you do in life, and how would you pinpoint that for someone? Or how do you talk to your clients? How do you talk to your
Yeah, fun. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. Most of my clients have kids, and you know dang well that you can't you can't look at a kid and hear that laugh, that toddler laugh, that infant laugh. You can't see them interact with the environment, the curiosity, the wonder, the intention that goes into such small details around the world. You can't look at that and that innocence and just be like, man, I would love to be like that. I would love to just see things from a new light, like everything's new. Like, imagine you can feel that every day. It's a beautiful thing. And so we lose that along the way, unfortunately. But if you can keep some of it, you don't need a lot of it because you can't have too much fun. I'll still be at Live right now, right? Still at those nice restaurants in Miami Beach. But yeah, it's if again as a parent, they get it. If you're not a parent, listen, it's hard. I think as someone who's not a parent, right? Speaking to someone who's not a parent, if you're not around kids, you're probably not gonna have too much access to that to see all that wonder I'm talking about. I think another good place to find it is go play recreational sports. Like just try. I think that's another good place because sometimes it's like this competitiveness thing that gives you that little like, oh wow, that was nice. That's why I play golf, dude. I play golf because you hit the ball one time really nicely and you're like, I'm coming back, you know? And then there's this competitiveness to score better against other people, and you're like, I want to get better, I want to get better. But then even that can get skewed, and it's no longer about play or fun. It's more about I just want to win, and that's not the right mindset either. And that's what happens in life.
Yeah.
I just want to win. I just want to make more money, dude. I don't care, dude. I'm gonna work 15 hours, bro. It's all right. I don't need to sleep. Screw sleep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So how do you incorporate your life and faith into your business and how you do with your clients in a day-to-day type of way? How do you incorporate that?
So I'm gonna talk specifically about my in-person clients, right? Because right now I definitely see them more often than I'm seeing any of my online clients. My online clients I speak to a little bit less often. My in-person clients that I see 2-3 times a week, they're gonna come into my specific energy, and they're gonna bring their own.
Yeah.
And if they're in a good mood and I'm in a good mood, we're gonna have a great time. If they're in a good mood, if they're not in a good mood and I'm in a good mood, we're gonna have a good time. If they're in a good mood and I'm in a bad mood, dude, I'm not inspiring anything.
Yeah.
Like, how am I supposed to get you to feel excited about coming to do something hard? Because that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do something challenging. We're gonna make it fun, but we're gonna do something challenging, and I need to be on, dude. So I think I'm gonna say I'm gonna say this like lightly, but like it's not that serious. Like I think I have a tough job, like to show up and just be completely on, completely intentional, present. Like I want what's absolutely best for you, genuinely, and you do that for hours. Dude, you walk out, you are spent. But for the time that you were with them, that you were in conversation, dude, you were representing that light. You are an example of Jesus Christ when you're out there. Whether you're bagging groceries, or you're out there, it's how you present yourself to the world, dude. I mean, having conversations on the camera. How am I showing up every day? The more often I'm in front of this thing, the more I get real with myself. The more I have to pray. How about that?
Yeah.
Dude, I've had to pray like, hey, dude, discernment. Dear Lord, give me discernment. Who is showing up in front of this thing? Is this real? Am I making this up? Sorry, I'm petting my dog. He's right here. Um, so, and then as far as, so I'm sorry, your question again was, how do you show that light and?
How do you incorporate your faith in everyday business with your clients?
And I think the other thing is, I talk about my faith. I kind of sprinkle it in. Like most of my clients know, that I'm Christian, and most of them are Jewish. So we talk about just faith in general, and most of them are so open to it, and they receive it, even if they don't believe what I believe, or it's just, it's the way that you talk to people that understand that. And I'm so lucky to be able to work with people like this, but to understand that it's so much bigger than yourself. This whole thing is, and maybe you just get that a little bit more when you have kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's how I do it, and I hope that I can only continue to learn how to do that much more effectively, um, with my clients and on camera, man. So I'm grateful that you thought about me when you thought about having this conversation. I'm not gonna lie, I was so nervous. I'm like, "Oof, what's he gonna ask me? What's gonna challenge me? What's gonna come out?" Because I'll be honest, dude. Even I might look back at this and be like, "Oh, that was so cheesy, dude." But it's just in me right now, dude. It's just I've been reflecting a ton. I've been having these conversations with really good friends, and I just want more of it, you know? I want to be more clear. I just want more. Yeah, I just want more, man. It's good.
It's good. It's a beautiful place to be. That's awesome.
Boom!